What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. I hope everyone had a great Christmas and a happy new year. Everyone's been keeping safe. You've probably noticed our backdrop's a little different. We're still at the condo. We're part of a province-wide lockdown, if you're not aware, here in Ontario. So that lockdown is lasting till about the 20th. But my guess is it's probably going to go past the 20th, well into February. God knows how much longer. I know the cases keep going up, they're not going down, so we're just going to be at home for a while longer. So while at home, I wanted to do a product review on what I consider my favorite power tool, my only power tool that I'm using right now. I've come a long way when it comes to power tools. I started off with the classic Oster 76, which is that burgundy power tool, corded power tool by Oster. I mean, if you're in the industry and you have been for a little while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That power tool sort of like set the tone. It was a pretty staple item in any barber's arsenal of tools. Probably, I'd say like 10 years ago, you'd see everyone was using that. But you know, power tools have come a long way since then, and one of the biggest milestones I think companies have reached is going cordless, right? And that's not just with power tools, that's with your clippers and your trimmers. And barbers that have been in the game for a little longer than others, you know, they've wanted to see some of their favorite tools come out in a cordless edition, right? So Oster hasn't really been doing much in comparison to Andis and Wall and Babeless. Why, I don't know. So whatever, I mean, I don't really know what's going on with that, but the power tool I'm using currently is the Andis Supra ZR II, which you see right here. And this thing is amazing, guys. Honestly, I use this as my workhorse. As I mentioned, it's, you know, use it to debulk, you know, you can even use it to fade if you really wanted to, with the different speed settings that it has on it. And all around, I think it's a very well-made tool. It's a little pricey, but most power tools that are cordless range around that price point. This one retails for about $320. It could very well be American as well, 320 American dollars. I'm on the Andis website right now. I have my laptop out because I actually threw the box out, so I don't really have all the specifics for it, so I was just gonna, you know, go through it with you guys off of the website. But what I can tell you off the top of my head from my experience with this tool, the weight is really nice. It feels very balanced. It feels like a well-made machine as well. It doesn't feel like, you know, super light and kind of crappy. It's very well made. The color coding, I mean, some people may not be particular about it, but I happen to really like the color of it. It's got a very sleek profile, so it's nice and thin. It's not very bulky. Andis did a great job with the structure of the tool, so I feel like, you know, it's a little bulkier down the bottom, and in the middle, it's very slim. Kind of got like an hourglass shape, if you will, but it's nice and slim. I think that was intentional because when you go to grip it when you're cutting, it sits almost perfectly in your palm. So I really like that. I'm sure that was intentional that Andis did that, and you know, hats off to them, because it does feel very ergonomic in your hand when you're holding it. What else can I say? So this is it on. Now keep in mind, it does use detachable steel blades, so you know, it does make a little bit of noise, and that's only on so that's the fastest setting right there. It's got about 5 speed settings. I usually keep it on the 4th setting, just because I feel like sometimes when it's on the 5th setting, I feel like the blade might just shoot off because it's moving so fast. It's not going to do that, but it feels like it might, because it's so powerful on that 5th setting, so I almost never use it. So I usually just keep it on the 4th setting, so you probably heard that it dropped down in torque there. So, you know, I'll let you guys hear it from 5 dropping right down to 1, okay? So here we go. This is number 5. This is 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, typically, this is just my observation, I feel like the lower speed settings are used for when you're blending. again, just my observation, I could be wrong, but I can't imagine why else they would have all those different speed settings on there. Also, it's interchangeable with the Oster steel guards as well, which is really nice. So if you have a whole set of Oster steel guards that you've been collecting throughout your career as a barber, fear not, you can still use them on this machine, which is really nice. You don't have to buy a whole new set of blades. I actually purchased a 1 1/4 Andis steel blade, mainly because the vendor that I bought it from didn't have a 1 1/2, so I opted for the 1 1/4, which was the next best thing. And I feel like I get the most work out of my 1 1/4 or 1 1/2. This is the blade that I use the absolute most. This one, and I'd say a 3 1/2 Oster steel blade. Those are the two blades I use the absolute most. I don't really use a 1. I don't really use a 2. Mainly because I just use my wall magic clip with the plastic guards for that, or I clip over comb. I don't really like those other steel guards. I just use the 2, and I feel like that's more than enough for me. It's also nice, you know, same way, it just kind of snaps off if you want to take the blade off. A really cool feature about this power tool is, you know, hair tends to build up, as it does in most clippers and power tools and trimmers, on the inside of the body of the machine, because, you know, hair will start to drop down, get into the motor, start to slow down the machine over time. So what's really nice, a cool feature that Andis came out with this machine, is this top here. You can pinch the corners and this pops right off, and then you can clean all up in there. So it'll keep that motor running nice and smooth for years to come, which is really nice. You don't have to go in and open up the entire machine. You can if you need to. I can tell you that in the 2 years that I've owned this machine, I've only done that once, and that was when I noticed that the light where it turns green when it's on, it was actually flashing red, and I couldn't understand why, because I knew it had a full charge. So I ended up just taking out the 2 screws on the back here and opened up the machine. I removed the backing. There was a good amount of hair there once I blew it all out. It worked like a dream again, so perfect. So this is the base here, as you guys can see. I know it's probably a little blurry just because I'm a distance away, but this is the base here. It's a fairly big base. I can't hate on Andis for it. I understand that, you know, it's a power tool, so it probably needs that. I'm sure that whatever's in here, it needed to be this big, so it is what it is. You guys can just try to work with that, depending on your setup of your barber station, but I don't mind. It doesn't really bother me. So you got the base there. When you plop it in, the light's gonna turn green. That's gonna tell you that it is charging. So when it turns red, obviously that means the battery's low. Once it turns green, it's good to go. Take it off, you're good. So there you have that. The battery, I do believe you can get a replacement battery. On the back here, if you just press on that and pull down, the battery will come off, and so you can charge the battery on its own, and you can buy a replacement and get that going. I'll be very honest with you guys, I don't have replacement batteries for any of my tools. I don't see the need for it, just because okay, to be fair, only really the power tools have replacement batteries. Clippers and trimmers don't really have replacement batteries, but I don't feel the need to have multiple tools and batteries, because I feel like every time I'm done with one of my machines, I put it right back onto the charger. So I almost never feel like I need another replacement battery, because my machines are good to go. I always have them charged up, ready to go. That reduces the clutter and the amount of money that I need to spend unnecessarily, because I'm just going to utilize the tools and the chargers that I have. Some barbers just like to have a whole bunch of tools just for the sake of having them. I don't know if they think it looks cool or not, but I don't know, whatever. I'm a product junkie too. I like products as well, but I don't like unnecessary clutter either. So there's that. So going into the finer details of the Andis Supra ZR II, it is, you know, like I mentioned, it has a removable battery for fast, easy replacement and no downtime. Heavy duty detachable blade clipper, Obviously heavy duty, it's got your interchangeable blades, so that's really nice. It has a lithium ion powered with a rotary motor, which is really nice because they suggest that it can cut through any hair type, whether it's wet or dry, which is really nice. I personally never really cut anyone's hair when it's wet. I don't get why someone would cut someone's hair wet with a clipper. I would just rough dry it at the very least and then get to cutting. Again, as I mentioned, it has 5 speeds, adjustable from 1800 to 3800 strokes per minute. That's insane, guys. So very efficient, very powerful. Good on Andis for that. Ceramic blade runs cooler and stays sharper. This one does not have a ceramic blade, but you can get the ceramic blade attachment for these guards. They're a little bit more expensive. I opted not to, but if you'd like to, feel free. Yeah, that's about it. It says weight. It weighs about 1.10 pounds, so it's not very heavy. Some people might find it heavy. I don't know. I really like it. I think with the absence of the cord, it's a lot lighter than obviously your corded power tools, so it's got a good weight to it. I do feel like it's a little heavier. It's a little bottom heavy just because that's where the battery sits, so you'll feel that is a little heavier there, but I don't mind it. I actually really like the way it feels. So yeah, there's that. What else? In the package, yeah, blades, accessories. Yeah, there's not a whole lot with about this machine that I haven't said already. There you have it. You got the base, you have the tool, you got the blade. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like some of the cordless clippers out there. You know, once the battery starts to die, you can't plug it right into the machine itself to get going. The plug or the outlet does go into the base of the machine to actually charge it, so you do have to have it on the base, unfortunately, to charge it. You can't plug it right into the machine. Oh well, not a big deal. So yeah, there you guys have it. That's the Andis Supra ZR II. My opinion, I think it's one of the best power tools on the market right now. I know some of the barbers I've worked with in the past, they've used other power tools from Andis, such as the BGR. There's the Excel 2. There's a couple, and honestly, they weren't really for me. I didn't like the way they felt. I thought the BGRs were too small and stubby. I wasn't a big fan of that. And as I mentioned, I used to use the Oster Classic 76, the burgundy clipper. From that, I upgraded to the Oster Titan, which, if you're not aware of what that machine is, it's a power tool by Oster. It was corded as well, and it had 2 speeds on that. That was really the only upgrade really from like the Classic 76 to the Titan, was the 2 power speeds, and then it was all black. So from that machine, I started to move into a lot of my tools being cordless, so I was patiently waiting for a nice cordless power tool. Again, as I mentioned, I worked with barbers that had the BGRs. I worked with one guy that had the Oster Octane, which was a cordless power tool by Oster, which is, to my knowledge, the only cordless power tool that Oster has come out with. And I didn't like it. I mean, it looked great. It had this like carbon fiber body. It looked amazing, but the tool itself was kind of crap. Shape-wise, it was actually very similar to the Supra ZR II, but this machine is far superior than the Octane, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I patiently waited till something came out on the market. This is the newest version of the Supra. There was an original Supra. This is, as I mentioned, the ZR II, so this is the newest version, and I think it's a lot better. Travis, who works at the shed with us, he has the original Supra, and it's nice, don't get me wrong, it's dope. It looks very similar, but with a few upgrades, I think it does have a few more speeds, and that I'll be completely honest, I don't know what other differences there are between the two, but I do happen to like this one a lot. So there you guys have it, short and sweet. That's my review on the Supra ZR II. I'll leave the link in the description if you guys want to purchase one. And thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't. And till next time, guys, if you have any ideas for YouTube videos and products you want me to review, please leave it in the comments below and I'll be sure to address them. Until next time, guys, stay safe, take it easy. Thank you for watching. Take care.